So basically here we are for understanding what exactly the IAM. Okay. So as you already know, IAM basically defined for identity and access management. Okay. There are a couple of two, three terms it is to be combined, and we are working on these two, three terms. Basically, I stand for, and you already know, identity. Okay. Identity is anything. Okay. If I'm talking about anything, means it is related to our corporate network, it is related to our living and living areas. Okay. Identity basically defined for our users. Okay. Our computers, our printers, our folders. Okay. Any kind of things like our devices, whatever the things you have seen in your organization, that is belongs to the identity, like your name. Okay, that is one of the identity. Okay, any machines you are working, that is one of the identity. Okay, that is having there some of the attributes, some of the level of attributes, some of the characteristics behind that area. So everything it is terms and then identity. Okay, so over here majorly the thing it is we are talking about that the identity, how this identity came across in this picture, whether we are going to go ahead in our organizations. Okay, not only the organization area, anywhere some of the identities we are divided into that the digital side, how it is to be the digital area, like your transactions. Okay, your invoices. Okay, that will become your ID. Okay, according to the government's ID card in India, that is Aadhaar. So that will become our identity. Okay, for any individual who is residing in our India location. Okay, so that is comes under that the identity area. So identity in a corporate area, identity in a general area, or you are talking about any of the resource, any of the things related to the user, computer, folder, everything having their own identity. Either it is in a digital format, or either it is going to be useful for your daily basis purpose. Okay, so this is we need to understand basically what exactly the identity it is. Okay, so I'm talking about much more on the identity and the identity and access management area for the entire class. I can tell you what exactly the things we are dealing all these things in our industry area. Okay, like if I'm talking about in an office, in an organization, if I'm talking about organization. Okay, beside this thing and inside the organization there are two kind of things. Okay, here is the one of the user, this is one of the user. Now if it is comes in the organization, it will become the identity of that user. Okay, how it will having that ID. ID means employee ID. Okay, then the user is having over here name. Okay, his age, correct, his date of birth, his address, his contact details. Okay, his status, his religion. So that is becoming that the all the character sketch. We call it is a attributes. We call it is a attributes. Okay. Here outside the organization, we call it is a character sketch of this users. Okay. But if it is comes in that organization, we call it is completely all this area like a attributes. So these are all the attributes of this user. Like if you join any organization, you are having that email ID. Okay, email ID. Email ID means organization related email ID, not your personal email ID. Okay, personal email ID also is the one of the attribute, but the corporate email ID, the work email ID, your employee ID, your project ID, your division ID. Okay, your manager ID. So all of the things belongs to that your attributes of this identity, whether it comes to that the organization. Organizations are basically dealing all these things in their entire activity once this organization is going to be stand up. Okay, so organization is working on this thing area, and it is very hectic schedule in the past, but right now we are having the couple of tools to engaging with the some of the vendors. We have the partners, we are working right now in the digital platform in the cloud area. So we are able to engage all this thing. Okay. Now, once this you already understand how this identity is going to work, why we call it the identity, and now it is comes to the access part. What exactly the access? If you already know, like you are already from that the cybersecurity background, so you already know what exactly the access. Even you also know what all the access is, like organizational area and in daily life. What all the access you are having in your daily basis purpose? You are having the home access, correct? You are having the room access, correct? You are having some locker access in the bank, correct? You are having your some of the additional access related to your banking side and all of the thing, correct? But in the organization, what do you mean by the access? Okay, so access is related to the your application access, okay, your domain access, correct? Application access, domain access, your SharePoint access. Again, it is comes to the part of application also. Okay, your printer access, your any kind of device access you are having. Okay, if you are talking about in the organization, so these access came in the picture, not these access. These access are for your daily basis purpose, correct? So now the question arises, if we are having the identity, we are having the access, so who gives that access to us? Who gives the access to us? There is something, there is in the middleware person who is providing you the access, who is providing you the authority to try to access on that area. Okay, in that parameter there are two terms comes in this picture. First terms comes in the authentication, and the other term comes in the authorization. Okay, so still we are on this page, identity and access, but again the two terms comes in this picture, authentication and the authorizations, correct? Now if you are talking about a banking in a daily basis purpose, if you go to the bank, you are having the account. Okay, you are having some details of the bank details, account details, you have a PIN number. Okay, rest of the activities it is to be there. So there should be comes under that the authentication, authentication of the person. This means this person is authentic for this bank. Okay, now all comes to that the authorization. Banks give you the permission or not, it's all up to the banking side, correct? Banks gives you the permission or not, that is comes in the authorization part of the bank area. If you want to give you the access or such of the your locker account details like transaction history, if they wanted to give you the access, so then they wanted to give you the access on the basis of authorization. Okay, similarly in the organization, how this authorization works, like I log in the O365 application. I'm having this application, correct? I'm having this O365 application, but still I am authorized for this application to access or not. That is, I need to check. Someone give me the permission. Someone give me the grant for this thing. Okay, then in terms that is comes as the authorization. Like my manager will approve some of the request for me for O365 application. Then I am able to get this application. Okay, so similarly in the authentication part is nothing is like that. You are having that application, you are authorized for doing this activity, but the authorizations is the last things. Once you are having the application, it's good enough. The application knows you. Okay, but either what kind of the authorization you are having, either the read access, either the write access, either read or write both access. Okay, that is comes under the authorization area. Okay, so there are four terms we are coordinated right now. First thing is identity. We already know, we all are over here, we are the identity. How we are joining, we are having some names over here, but we are joining with some of the organizational email ID who just give us some permission to land it on that page. Okay, identity and access. The whole terms, if we club with them, then becoming a management. This is how organizations are doing management. Organization having multiple projects related to means multiple clients they are having, multiple vendors they are having, multiple partners they are having. Correct? To work on those areas. Organization having these things. But they also need users or resources to work on these areas. Correct? Now the area of work comes to that the organization, how they are managing all these things from here to here, or either from here to here. How they are managing, that is becoming a big question for the organization. Till so far, how organizations are doing, they are very difficult for them to manage all this area. Like in that the major side, it is to be like they are having multiple things to manage all these things in the past. Firstly, in the starting days, they are having Excel sheets to managing the resources. Correct? They are having the data. They are managing their name, age, DOB, project code, whatever the things. Then the picture has changed. Then they are having SQL, DBA, databases. Okay, all of those Excels now comes in the query side. Okay, now they are having folders. Okay, in that the tables they are having. Inside the tables, they can easily manage all these things. Okay, now later on that is comes in the picture, which is we call it as the AD, Active Directory. We call it as a Active Directory. Okay, from Excel to the Active Directory, there is a long journey between the softwares, evolutions, and everything. So we call it as the evolution of storing the information. Okay, now from the Active Directory, we are having cloud directories. Okay, everything we are storing in the cloud area. Correct? What we are storing over here? We are storing identity still. Okay, from here we are talking about identity. In tables we are talking about identity. In Active Directory we are talking about identity. In cloud directory we are also talking about identity. Identity is nothing but it is the data. Data of the whom, data of the resources, data of the devices, data of the each and every resources which we are having or we are using in our industry. Industry means organizations. Correct? So we have three things right now, 3 to 4, 5 things we already learned so far. Identity, access, authentication, plus authorization, and now it is comes as Active Directory, AD. Okay. Firstly, AD is started by Microsoft. Okay. Now every organization having their own Active Directory. Correct? Active Directory means they are having their cloud directories right now. I tell you what is exactly the Active Directory. Okay, we have the session on that area also. Okay, but today's session I am giving you some heads up on the terminologies we are supposed to using in our coming sessions. Okay, Microsoft having their Active Directory. Okay, they are coming from databases to Active Directory. Still in the Active Directory we are using multiple kind of objects. Objects in terms of like we are maintaining our users, we are maintaining our folders, we are maintaining our devices, we are maintaining our groups over here. Okay, because it's a bigger site, it's a bigger picture. Not every company integrated Active Directory. Active Directory majorly integrated for all those organizations which are having a bandwidth of around like more than 10K plus 50K plus 1 million of the users are they are having. They are maintaining in a larger sites. Okay, that's why they are maintaining all this detail in the Active Directory. Okay, Active Directory over here, I give you some heads up on that area. What exactly the Active Directory? Active Directory is nothing but like your similar to your telephone directory. Similar to your telephone directory. Okay, those who know how the telephone directory look like or how we can search a person with his details in Active Directory. Similarly, in Active Directory, we can do this similar kind of activity. Like over here, I just give a name like Veena. Okay, if I wanted to search in a telephone directory, I'll go to the alphabet V. Okay, then I'll go with the alphabet VE. Okay, then I found Veena over there. Multiple Veena names are we there. Okay, and number of. Okay, then how I could find my correct Veena, but I know her location. So under the location, I found his contact details. This is how telephone directory build up. Okay, this is how this telephone directory work in a hierarchical manner. Okay, similarly over here in Active Directory, we are using the same functionality, same principle. Okay, like in Active Directory, we are also managing hierarchical manner. Okay, we are managing hierarchical manner. Okay, like say we are having one organization xyz.com. Under that xyz.com, we are having some departments. Department means some verticals. Every organization is having verticals. Okay, like they are having admin department, they are having IT department, correct, and they are having HR department, some finance department, accounts department they are having, correct. So organization are working on 3 or 4 pillars. Every organization are. Under admin department, there are some of the sub departments are be there. Okay, who are managing. Some department means like some of the departments are working on marketing department. Some sales departments are be there, correct. Some department who are checking on some R&D kind of stuff. Okay, similarly in the IT, there are some having development department, correct. Some are cyber security department. Okay, some are department which they are supposed to do some research and development area. Similarly, in the HR department, some are for hiring purpose, hiring department they are supposed to be there, and some department who are managing events and all, events, training, surveys, learning purpose, basically. Similarly, for the account department, they are having payroll department, some engagement departments. Yeah. Okay, so this you see some of the hierarchy inside the organization. We are maintaining xyz.com. Some of the department have we are having admin, IT, HR, accounts we are having. Inside that thing we are having marketing, sales, R&D, development, security, AD, and in all of these department, who are we there? Who all are in this department are working? Like users are working under that department. Some identities are resource. I already been there in those all those department. In every department we are having our resources, like in our organizations, correct? So these resources are having some name, some IDs. Okay. So how many users are we there in all of the department? Might be n number of. Okay, n number means let's say 10K. 10K of the users this organization is having. Okay. So this organization is having with the name of like Veena @ xyz.com. Now this is one of the user ID in the organization. This is how we now call it in an organization. Not with this only Veena, with this domain name xyz.com. Okay, this all of the management, it is to be taken care by my AD. This is the how the AD is functioning. If I wanted Veena, might be Veena is working on development department. So how could I reach Veena? Firstly, I go to that the domain, which domain she is working. My company having multiple domain xyz.com, abc.com or else. Then I'll search which department she is working. Okay, so I know her email address only, veena@xyz.com. So I'll go with this domain. Now I'll search for this IT department she is belonging. Under the IT department she is belonging to the cyber security. Then I'll find Veena. So if I want to give access Veena on a way, like any kind of project, any kind of deal, any kind of promotion, any kind of manager I wanted to assign to her, okay, then firstly I need to get to know where exactly she is residing. So it's quite easy for me to accessible Veena in the entire 10K of the users, because it is a hierarchy. It is a meaningful manager, meaningful management entire in the organization. I'm not searching from firstly from marketing till my account department. Okay, this is not the way I can search, because Active Directory gives us a heads up in a very meaningful or in a hierarchical manner to trace out, to search each and every object, each and every identity. Okay, this is how the Active Directory do work. Now Active Directory right now Microsoft having Inter ID, correct? Now AWS having their own ID. Still, some of the products which are having to be in the market, they are having their own. Google having their own AD, but they are all in the cloud area. They are all in the cloud area. Okay, we can talk about much more on the AD side. So firstly, let's understand where we exactly here to understand what exactly that the comes in the picture: identity and access. Again, they are divided into 4 segments. Okay, first one we call it is a IAM. We call it is basically identity and access management. One thing it is comes with the identity management modernization area. We call it as a IAM. Then it is comes in the picture IGA. Then it comes under in the PAM. Okay. Now there is new term it is comes under in the intelligence threat, or either it is coming under in the AI area. Okay, right now this is supposed to be we identity and access management domain is upskilling inside in the AI side right now. Okay, this is all, it is already been completed so far. Okay, now they are going ahead in the AI side. Okay, over here in the identity and access management, if you are talking about that area, it is supposed to be divided under that the compliance, authentication and authorization basically. Authentication and authorization. Then under identity, governance, we call it as IGA, and we call it governance and compliance. Okay, now it is comes a privilege identity, privilege administration, or we call it as a PAM solution. Okay, and rest for the AI part. Okay, in authorization and the authentication area, we are having couple of the things on which organizations are working. Couple of the things means there are n number, not n number, like limited number of the tools through which we can do our activity. Similarly, for our IGA side, we are having some tools, or we can call it as a product in the market. Similarly, for our privilege band, we are having some tools, or we can call it the products in the market. Okay, so these all of the things are in the market right now. Still, we are understanding, or we are talking about IAM only, because IAM is our prime suspect or prime thing through which we distributed our work in a multiple kind of tools, multiple kind of area of tools, multiple kind of functionality, multiple kind of products. Okay, in every segment, like in authorization and authentication, still we are taking IAM. In IGA side, still we are talking on the IAM. In privilege identity, in the PAM solution, we are talking about the IAM. In the AI side, we are also talking about the IAM. Okay, so this is how this IAM is so much big in this industry. Okay, so IAM is not a product. First thing, IAM is a completed technology. Okay, complete solution. If I'm talking about solution, solution means there should be some query, questions, query, questions in the market. Okay, which is to be not solved by organizations or companies. Okay, this is how these solutions comes in the market. I am working, I am having one organization, either it is a middle size or is a large enterprise. Okay, I am having my resources, I am having some projects, I am having some clients, some partners with me. So who can take care of all of these things? My 4 departments, are they enough? Like my admin, like my IT, like my uh, HR, accounts, are these 4 departments are quite good enough? Who can manage all those this area? No. They are supposed to be only workable till the time the documentation purpose or the communication or consulting work it is to be there. But whether it comes to that the solution part, technical area, I need some solution. How I can do implementation? How could I do developmentation? Okay, how could I do prepare a solution configuration area? Then I need some solution. These all questions of my organizations given by all of these area of the IAM. Then it comes to the picture IAM. The role of the IAM comes in this picture. Okay, whether your organization is dealing with n number of difficulties, how the things are going to be deployed, how I can achieve the solutions, how I can set up my organization in a very secure manner, scalable manner, and profitable manner. Okay, to upskill in the market. Okay, so that's in the term comes in the picture is IAM, that we call it as a solution. Okay, now again I told you solution means lot of things are we there. We are having some tools who can provide the solutions. For authentication authorizations, we are having a tool Okta in the market. Okay, we are having some tool ping identity. Okay, for IGA part, we are having a market called SailPoint. Every product, every tool, every product, every tool deals with only with IAM. These are providing you the solution according to your industrial aspects, according to your industrial need, according to the project of the your client is having. Okay, sale point, Savient. Okay, PAM solution we are having CyberArk, Beyond Trust. Okay, so these are all the tools. There are so many tools. There are 4 or 5 tools are with there. Okay, who can give you some heads up. Okay, now over here, apart from these area, Microsoft, as Amazon, Google, they are having their own tool. We call it as a Azure. We call it as a AWS. We call it as a GCP. Okay. Similarly, for rest of the organization, they are having their own products. IBM having their own product. Oracle having their own product, who can provide these solution for the IAM practices for their clients. Okay, they are not going to that area. They are going to that area if their clients they require. As I told you that client is a major thing. Any client come up with the n number of projects, so they can go ahead with these kind of products also. But they are having their they worked on themselves. They are having their own product in the market. Okay, majorly they can work on these areas. Okay, so this is we call it as a solution. That's why we call it as a solution over here. Okay, I can also present some of that the PPT also, but firstly I get to know exactly what I'm trying to achieve over here and trying to understanding to you like in a way like how this organization are supposed to work. Because if I'm going through like the PPTs and other documentation purpose, it's quite like is the theoretical aspects, not too much on the practical side, or might be the things in the PPT area, whatever it is to be written over there, that is fine enough, but it's not too much easily understandable as in the pictorial format. That's why I'm delivering you this session quite in a way like you can easily understand what exactly how this industry is working, the IAM industry is working. Okay, how this IAM solution, IAM thinks it is in this market right now. Okay, because last couple of I am working last couple of 15 years in this identity and access management domain. I worked on multiple projects. I did practice project, I did configuration, implementation and development projects. Okay, similarly, if you guys joining or if you guys cross skilling yourself, deploying yourself in a project area, so you just came up with your prior experience, but it's good to understand some new approach how this things it is to be there. This identity and access management area is not more talkable in the industry, but right now every organization having their own team of IAM. Every organization, okay, they are having their own team of IAM. Till so far you have seen there is a development team working on application, correct? Testing team, okay, DevOps, CDCI pipeline team, DevOps teams. Okay, till so far you have seen these kind of teams, but we are having right now the IAM teams. Last couple of 6+ years, this IAM sector is booming. Why it is booming? Because new organizations comes in the market. Correct. Every organization wants a seamless process. Every organization wants to big. Every organization wants reliability. Every organization wants security. Okay. Then it is comes to the IAM side. IAM is not only to identity and access management area, but it's more functionality. It is to keep secure and manage the identity. Okay. In IAM, we are talk about the security plus the management, secureness. To whom? All these terms to whom? To all the identity. Again, the identity. Making a security to whom? Identity. Making a secureness to whom? Identity. Making a management to whom? Identity. Because identity means data. Important. Very much important for each and every organization. No organization want a breach. Okay. Even Facebook don't want any kind of breach. But still, there is some of that the things. Everything comes in the market. New technologies are rising every day. This data is also going to be breached. Okay. So there should be some of the area through which we are making a security for our identities. Now, if the identity is there, so there should be some risk. Now we can take in care by the security. Then in the comes with the picture, there are a couple of things comes in this picture in the identity and access management side, like MFA, multi-factor authentication. Okay, we are having some security, like we are making a security on the network side, like Citrix, Palo Alto, Zscaler. Okay, this is how we are making our network security much more capable to identify the risk, or either any intruder, any kind of hacker is not going to be hack our system. Okay, so that is comes under the security. As you are working on the cyber security area, so you know each and everything in the security, why security is required, why we are making our security. Okay, in the Microsoft side, we are calling them Microsoft Defender. There is Microsoft tool who is working on that area. We are having multiple tools who can take us the logs also. Okay, SIM tools, Splunk is there. There are n number of tools are there to keep secure the security. To whom? Identity. Correct. So this is how this IAM is so big. This is how all the fields are open in the IAM sector. Anyone wanted to go ahead in the security side, they can make a career in the security. They can learn the security tools. Okay. If there anyone wanted to make sure to work on the identity management, they can learn n number of tools, as I mentioned to you. Okay. So these kind of tools who are supposed to work for our identity and make our organization in a way to any kind of things I can achieve in a quick note. Okay. Like if I'm talking about organization having some websites where my users are going to work, resources are going to work. Okay, some of the person give them the access. Okay, the authorization and the authentication on this application. Correct. So resource get this access, but how this application is tie up with my organization, that is becoming a question. Okay, then it comes with the solution. If there is a question, there is a query, there is a solution. There is a solution called IAM. Under IAM, which tool is going to work? Now we are having authentication, authorization, and we required SSO. So it means that we are looking for Okta kind of product, which gives you these kind of capability. Okay, every product having their own features. Okay, Okta having some of the capability. Similarly, SailPoint having their own capability. SailPoint majorly works on compliance side, review side, governance area side. Okay, these products are having their own capability. Okta is having their own capability. Okay, here we are supposed to learn on Okta side. Okay, because we are talking about authentication, authorization, SSO, onboardation of the application, making a security, creating how the automation is going to work. Okay, these are all the things we can achieve through Okta. Okay, some of the functionality we can achieve through SailPoint. Okay, but there are some of the restrictions over there. They are not fully functional. Like in Okta, we are not talking about review part, we are not talking about governance side, much more. Okay, okay, so that's why we are divided under these kind of solution. Which solution is supposed to be required? Okay, what kind of client requirement? According to the client requirement, we are supposed to tell them this product will gives you or helps you to make your industry workable. Whatever your existing tools, whatever the existing problem risk, you are facing security side, any kind of project side, so you can go ahead with these kind of tools. This is how we are pitching to our clients. Okay, this is how we are preparing our plan. This is how we are preparing the roadmap for our client. Okay, in the identity and access management. So again the question rise in IAM area, scope. What exactly the scope of the IAM? IAM can work on any kind of industry. It will work on IT industry, it will work on healthcare industry, it will work on automobile industry, it will work on banking industry. Okay, any industry near comes in your mind, it will work on that industry. Okay, because why? Because every industry having their identity. Every industry required devices. Every industry required security. Every industry require some of the functionality who can manage network. Okay, to deal in the cloud, to deal in the www in the market. Okay, every company wants to big, but how? Again, the IAM, which product it is going to be work for them. Okay, so that is the scope of the IAM. Why this IAM comes in this picture? Why IAM is so much big? Why IAM is making you helpful for the industry purpose to go ahead and deploy these kind of activity. Now for why IAM is useful for our user perspective area. Like you are learning over here in the one of the things, one of the tool, one of the solution IAM, how it is benefited to you. Okay, firstly, either on the career side or either you are working for an industrial side. Industry side, I already told you that part, like it's a scalable product, it's reliable. Security side, it is much more helpful. Now from the career aspect, for that person who wanted to cross skill himself or upskill himself, why the IAM helpful for them? IAM gives you the n number of opportunity. Either you can go with the development. Development means there are n number of products. Okta, SailPoint, Microsoft, Savient, PAM. Either you can go with the development or implementation projects. Either you can go with the operational projects, or we can go the support projects or BAU activity kind of projects. Okay, either you can go with the practice side. Practice side person means practice team will, what will the practice team do? They will sit with the stakeholders, make a road plan, and how this going to be deliver this kind of activity for our client. They can work on that area. Okay, so there are n number of opportunities, whether you can go any kind of tool, any kind of tool. Every tool work with them. Right now, already 6+ year or 7+year, I am seeing that area. The guys who can learn one product, it's not enough for him. He wanted to learn 2 3 product also, because he wanted himself kind of architect of this IAM. How I can how I can deploy, how I can do end to end kind of configuration, how I can do end to end kind of implementation for my client. Okay, end to end, if I'm talking about end to end means is like from scratch I can start, or I can deploy, or I can work for one of my client. Like if I'm client is having ABC organization. Okay, they give me some, think about that pain area, risks for his existing company. Okay, now how can I do the end to end kind of activity? Firstly, I get to know, I can do some discovery. I can collect some data, raw artifacts, okay, from his company. Then I can prepare my plan, do some workshop with them, get to know, make some diagrams, architect diagram, work on those areas. Once I understand which tool is benefited for him, then I am supposed to go ahead and deploy some of these things like SSO part for their applications, for their users. For their security part, I am deploying MFA, okay, multi-factor authentication. Network side, I can put ahead, okay. Then I can implement PAM solution for them, for their privileged users, like their admin accounts, okay. So I can deploy some PAM solution for them. This is how I can do. And the last, if once the project is deployed, then I can give this project to the support guys who can work if any kind of things over here is not working properly, they can manage and fix it. Okay, so this is how this teams or this IAM support IAM industry is going to work. IAM kind of project is going to work in that project, in that the domain side of the IAM side. Okay, so this is how we are supposed to work. Like in couple of years, I work on, firstly I was a part of this area majorly. I started my career from this area, operational support area, in this IAM. Okay, then I do understand what my pain area of my client, how they are doing this activity, where exactly I can learn easily. Then I started from beginning to AD. Firstly, I get to understand what exactly the AD, how it is working. AD is nothing but is a repository for all my identities. Then I study AD. Then after that AD, I can jump over one of the tool, Okta. Okay, because I think Okta is one of the tool, very handy tool. Its UI is very friendly, to easy to understand kind of things. Once I totally understand how this Okta is work, then I totally understand how this Okta functionality is going to be there. Okay, how Okta works, what all the products the Okta is having, what all the features the Okta is having. Then I totally understand the Okta. Then I understand over how SSO is working in Okta, how MFA is going to work in Okta, how I can manage my security network in Okta, how I do automation in Okta. Okay. Once I am good enough in the Okta, then I jump on the some of the rest of the tools like SailPoint and other tools. Okay. Eventually, once I learn all these things, practice in 5 years, then I'll be started working on that the architect kind of activity for deploying all this activity for my client. Okay. Right now I'm in this position to pitch my client on any kind of product. Any kind of product means any kind of products in the market which we are having. So I am working with the pack testing right now, where my majorly work it is to be there to give my client a best solution, best consulting, okay, consultation over the product side, or how to prepare the timeline, whether we are deploying this kind of IAM tool for them, IAM solution for them. Okay, this is how this IAM is supposed to work. Okay, there are some of the terminology is quite good, it's a new thing for you, but I give you some heads up on that area. You just be focus on that part. If I'm talking about SSO, it means single sign-on. Hope you know about that part. Like if you are having a Gmail or Google account, you can directly jump over any kind of account, like in Instagram, you see, Facebook, see, like Zomato, Swiggy, any kind of Amazon, how you can directly log in over there without entering your password, because there is a tab over there, login with Google account or Gmail. Once you directly click over there, you are entering in this application. How it is going to be done, this is, we call it the SSO, single sign-on. One credential, one username, work for all of this application. MFA, if I'm talking about MFA, is means multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication means right now you are seeing voice call, OTP. You have received lot of things in your daily life. Voice call, OTP. You will get a message. Okay. What is this? These are the multi-factor. It is giving you a second layer of authentication in your identity. Okay. This is we call it. Okay. I'll give you a heads up tomorrow also on this identity and access management area on the documentation side also. Okay. So till so far you are having any concern, anything, just keep in your mind and ask me tomorrow session. Okay.